Batman versus Superman came out, there was one of the threads on the internet was, oh, all these journalists, they're all just biased against DC, and they're all, it's just not fair, there is a part of me which kind of thinks that what you want to do is to disprove all those conspiracy theory nitwits, right? But I'm not going to. So, interestingly enough, Captain America Civil War has virtually the same plot as Batman versus Superman. The whole thing, it is to do with collateral damage. It is to do with, it's a film in which the Captain America is the lead, as in Batman is the lead, but actually it ends up probably being more of an Iron Man movie than a Captain America movie. It's a film in which there is an entirely spurious conflict between two characters who, as they said pretty much in the interview, they're kind of on the same side. They're not really going to hurt each other. Of course they're not. It's like...
I know I'm hitting you with a shield.
Yes, but there is this, the standee scene in which that happens. So all those things are comparisons. The difference, which is very clear, is colourful fun. In the case of Captain America Civil War, you do get a sense of affection. You get a sense that the filmmakers want the audience to be enjoying themselves. Now, they don't do that perfectly because there are things wrong with the film, which we will come to, but you do, from the off, pretty much get a sense that what they want you to do is to be smiling through this, is to be enjoying it, is to be having a sort of, a rip-roaring romp of a ride, to be, getting behind the action, getting behind the character. And it is funny just how, particularly in a movie which, we're talking about movie franchises, we're talking about big movies, we're not talking about little independent movies. When people talk about, you can get a mood of a film, particularly a sort of low-budget film, it is different with a big-budget film, but the whole tone of it felt like the film was saying, come on, we're going to enjoy ourselves with this. Now, that said, there is an inevitable problem with the unbelievable proliferation of characters in the case of Captain America Civil War, which means that there are certain times when it does start to look like a fancy dress cosplay marathon with a number of
Say that again.
a fancy dress cosplay marathon with a number of figures in fancy dress running this way and a number of figures in fancy dress running this way, all in aid of various good causes, all running. And in fact, there is one shot in which that's pretty much what you get, isn't it? There's two opposing sides running towards each other. And there are several moments in which, as a result of that super abundance of characters, that the film threatens, even in the space of it's a 2.5 hour running time. It is long. There's no question about it. Again, like Batman versus Superman, it bothered me slightly less, but it is too long. There's no two ways about it. But in the space of that, there are characters that kind of don't have quite enough space to be fully fleshed because there's so much other stuff going on around it. But there is all the way through it a sense of enjoyment, a sense of joy, a sense of weirdly sort of slightly empowering celebration going on, which means that even when the things that don't work, I mean, you get, for example, these, all these sort of various traits that you've got, you've got the throwy, bouncy Shield, you've got the blabbery mouth Robert Downey, you've got punchy, crunchy Scarlett Johansson, you've got pointy Elizabeth Olsen doing the whole thing about holding the purple thing going, all that.
Yeah, you're doing what? Holding?
She holds this like the purple glowy thing that's her superpower.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a purple glowy thing.
Yeah, don't make the.
No, I just wonder what is it? It's like an electric charge. Isn't
well, it's the power of her mind, isn't it? It's the superpower that she has, and
it goes
and it enabled James King to make a joke that was below him. You've got the joke about Spider-Man wearing a onesie. You've got Paul Bettany looking, for all the world, like a rather cleaned up version of Frank from Hellraiser. With the red head, but wearing a suit, but sort of slightly nicer teeth. You've got all the stuff about the politics, although actually the politics in the end don't add up to very much. The thing about, should we be corporate? Should we be privatized? Should we be kowtowing to another? Should we be responsible to anybody else? But all that stuff in the end is window dressing, or at least it was for me. Now, it may well read differently for somebody who's a super fan, because I am speaking as somebody who is an outsider to this in the same way that I was with Batman versus Superman. But what I can tell you is that despite feeling that the movie was baggy and all over the place, and I think it is too long, because I think 2.5 hours is I smiled through an awful lot of it, and I had the sense that the movie was saying to me, come on, we're going to enjoy ourselves. And at times it was far too pantomime. I mean, there are times when it feels like a live-action rehash of The Incredibles, but it gets away with it because it seems to do it with a sense of affection rather than a sense of ponderousness, a sense of fun rather than a sense of... It's a film that you're meant to enjoy rather than endure. And I think that's the big difference between it and Batman versus Superman.